All power to the people, brothers.
All power.
All power.
So today we're beginning what we call the United Panther Movement recruitment orientation drive. And so you two comrades have expressed interest in the United Panther Movement. I think it's important that we explain what the United Panther Movement is about, what it stands for, what its goals, what its purpose is. So if you look at the manual, the United Panther Movement Manual, Handbook 2021, revised May 2021, Central Committee. Introduction. Would you like to read the introduction, comrade?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Purpose and practice of the United Panther Movement. What is the United Panther Movement? Article 1. Basis of unity. 10-point program and platform rules and regulations. Article 2. Membership. Article 3. Practice. Serve the people programs. Prison organizing. Programs for every demographic and social investigation. Article 4. Fundraising, budget, and reimbursements.
All power to the people. Oh, there you go. Come on in, brothers, for the meeting. You can open the door up. All power to the people. All power to the people. Give these comrades some cheers.
The other brothers are gonna probably slide.
All right, that's cool. And also for y'all comrades, we also live on Facebook because we have a national organization. So they follow us, what we do.
All right.
You need to get your brother a chair right here?
Yeah, it's black, right?
Yeah, you can shut it.
Sit mine.
No, that's cool. Yeah, that's good.
Sit mine.
Let me get y'all comrades the manuals. All power to the people. Comrade.
I got you, bro.
Yeah, here you go, comrade. Come on in, brother, fool. Get another chair for sit right here, fool. Get another chair for comrade, fool.
I stand by these people.
Yeah, you stand on security.
I got you.
No power to the people. Thank you, brother. Right back
Yeah.
there. We also live on Facebook. The other comrades are following us at this time.
Damn.
Take that, get that manual right there, brother. All power to the people. All power to the people, brothers.
All power.
So all power, let me just say all power to the people is Holy Grail greeting within the Panther Revolution. Whenever someone greets you, all power to the people, they're greeting you in a way that is special, that is unique. All over the world, revolutionaries have their own particular way of relating and uniting with one another. So when we say all power to the people, we're talking about achieving power, not simply running people for local elections, not simply trying to get somebody in City Hall, or not simply trying to develop black businesses. All of that is important, but when we say all power to the people, we're talking about the power that rests at the top in the hands of the ruling class, the Jeff Bezos, the Warren Buffetts. So right now, before we get started, I just think it's important we introduce ourselves so we can at least be familiar with who we are. So my name is Shaka Zulu. I was just recently released after doing 20 years in prison. And since I've been home, I've been involved in revolutionary work. I think when I went to prison, I was horrible at being a criminal. Even though I had a little bit of staying in the streets, I had a little bit of money, but I was preying on my people. But when I went to prison, that's where I found my freedom at. And so when I was there, man, I ran into everybody. And they all told me that, it's my historical obligation to come out here to help these same young brothers and sisters that will eventually follow our path if we don't serve as an intervention. And so that's why we brought the Black Panther Party out here again. And we'll talk more about that. Go ahead, comrade.
My name is Marty. Well, I don't really know how to give an introduction.
Well, your name is Marty. That's okay, comrade.
Well, they call me Mello or skateboard.
Oh,
But my name is Mel, right?
Oh,
I recently
power.
just came home from a little bit.
Oh, power.
I know, little mistake I made in life trying to be somebody I thought I was supposed to be. stay, skateboarding my way of life. That's what I get into.
All power to the people.
My name is Cory Finch, and I was brought in to help out this community due to Shaka here. He was a good man, and for him, I'm going to be who I is right now. Just want to thank you at the same time.
My name is Speedy. Just came home.
All power to the people.
So did the same thing, made a fucked up mistake. But now I'm here, we can make change, so I'm with it.
All power.
All right. Hi. I'm a North native. I've been here like 54 years, born here. I'm here to do what I got to do. All power. Help the people.
All
You know
power.
what I mean? Do what's right.
I'm Shaquan. And the brother Shaka, we was down in prison together. Good dude, strong brother, I received a lot of knowledge from him, and I'm just trying to give back, not let the younger crew make the same mistake I made. It's like Shaka, I did 7 bids,
All power to the people.
I'm 57. After 7 bids, I gave the crackers 27 years of my life. So I ain't trying to go that route anymore. I'm just trying to be positive, get back.
All power.
Isn't that interesting, though?
Brother,
Oh, my bad. I apologize.
Hey, Drizzy.
Hey, I was just sitting here.
real quick.
Oh, no, I got to stand security. Yeah.
You can say Drizzy anyway, so I ain't gonna do it.
All power to the people, comrade. This is brother Drizzy right here. Hopefully we can meet and talk. Oh, so you know
What's up, my boy? Alright.
all power to the people. Nice meeting you, comrade.
Can I have 1 second? My mom is calling.
You good, brother. You good. All right, so what we're going to do is, because I know we ain't going to be here all day, we're going to go through the basic manual. I think in this UPM manual contains everything about the organization. The membership, the ideas, the goals, and what's also important, I want to talk about that. You see, y'all notice we have a white comrade here. Now, in the Panther Revolution, there's different Black Panther Party tendencies. But the original Black Panther Party Huey P. Newton told white people, you can't join the Black Panther Party, but you could create a White Panther Party. And so what we did was create a White Panther Party. And you will see, once we get into the studies, the White Panthers have their own leadership. They have their own organization, but they're under the leadership of the New African Black Panther Party. So we'll get into that as we get deeper into our studies. So that's important because what we're trying to do is leverage multiracial power against our enemies so we can get the shit that we need. And the basic way we can do that is have brown people politicized and organized in the brown community. Have whites politicized and organized in the white community. And have blacks politicized and organized in the black community. Then collectively, we can leverage national power because we got the white community, we got the black community and the brown community. Can't nobody stop us. That's what makes revolution so impregnable. That's why the enemy hate it. Because when people come together, they know they can't stop that shit. It is powerful than any government in the world.
Because I don't want to
Go ahead, brother.
they really know that it's more us
That's right.
than them.
That's right.
That's why they don't want us branching off. They want it to be, oh no, they don't like white people. Nah, we for everybody. We just not for y'all who just wanted to be white people against black people.
All power
That's
to the
right.
You know
people.
what I'm saying?
That's
So
right.
I'm with that.
That's right.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right.
Like I was telling bro, like gang related. So I was blood since I was 9. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong with that.
Motherfuckers respect me putting in pain, but they don't respect my knowledge.
Yeah.
I'd rather be around y'all motherfuckers who respect my knowledge than me putting in pain.
That's right.
So that's why I said I denounce that shit ASAP. And what they gonna do?
All power to the people.
Because they respect my pain, you don't respect me. I don't even want to be around you. I'm good. I want somebody to get the same energy I'm giving off of. If not, stay away from me.
All power to the people. That's right, brother.
That's right.
Yeah, that's important, man. And in fact, let me say, oh, how you doing, sister? All power to the people. Let me also say that this is a great day for you, brother, for the other comrade that did time in prison, for the comrade here, for the comrade there, all of us, and Cory,
Yeah.
all of us did time in prison.
Yep.
what better example to be for the young brothers and sisters in the community than you? They can look and say, I relate to Comrade. You know?
We was down Miss Cass office. Dudes walking by, like, man, I ain't about to get my GED. Stopped. I said, look, I came out of high school with 48 scholarships, my nigga. I went to prison.
That's right.
They can't take your education away from you. If you just walking around being another statistic, they gonna fuck you all over.
More power to
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he ended up getting that shit.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I'm saying? But I'd rather, I feel better than doing that. Like, yo, we're gonna spin the block. We're gonna do. I don't want to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit corny as hell.
I ain't
Now,
get my GED
I'm knocking my brother off. I'm doing something white, not you, but like, motherfuckers.
No, we
waste
understand.
the
You
building,
use that term. We understand.
They
Yeah.
want
My mom
to
may
knock
know you,
each other
Shark
off.
Park.
I
I think she may know you.
Yeah, she just came to the door.
No, that's not my mom.
Oh.
My mom named Vivian. She's from Nutman Street. She's 63 right now.
Oh,
But
power to the
back in
people.
the day, she was with the North Knights.
All power to the
So
people.
you know, back
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had some people right there in Springfield.
Yeah,
so she
yeah.
ride motorcycles back in the day. So you know, they had some people from that. She told me when I was younger that they had some Black Panther stuff going on.
All power to the
So she knows what's
people.
going on. But I have to get her medicine.
Go ahead, brother.
If
You all right,
if this
brother?
still going on, I'm coming right back here.
Yeah, we'll be here for about another 40 minutes. We're gonna go through it. Well, this is your base.
That's
So
me, bro.
I mean, you can come one on one.
That's me.
We can go right through it.
You
Okay.
come
All power to
anytime
the
you
people.
want, bro. You heard?
All right, bro. Yeah, gotcha for sure, huh?
Even when we ain't here, you can always come.
That's right,
Shoot your
brother.
home.
All right, so
Thank you, Mello. All
thank
right.
you, brother. I Conrad Mello.
Let your brother read over that.
I got you.
Make it easier.
If you leave before I come back, hit me.
All right, all power to the people. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the manual. So the purpose and practice of the United Panther Movement.
I left my car.
Your
There
card.
you go. Look, it's my car right here. When you say car brothers, that's what I'm talking about.
Power to the people. You said it's car. You talking about that skateboard?
Yeah, that's our car.
Power to the people. So go ahead, Conrad Corbin. You can start. Let's start from the beginning since the other comrades came in.
It's a United Panther Movement Handbook 2021, revised May 2021, Central Community. Introduction, purpose and practice of the United Panther Movement. What is the United Panther Movement? Article 1, basis of unity, 10-point program and platform rules and regulations. Article 2, membership. Article 3, practice serve the people programs, prison organizing, programs for every demographic and social investigation. Article 4, fundraising, budget and reimbursements. Article 5, political education.
Swing through for a little bit.
Why
You could, or
political
just you can pick
education?
up the.
Article 6, accountability, unity, criticism,
Hold on.
and unity.
Give me a second, bud.
Content.
We right here, look.
Content
Yes,
information
and no.
NABPP at protonmail.com, Justin Laura UPM at protonmail.com. All power.
It's closed, so you just come to the door, we open.
General donations, you can cash out.
Solid.
Venmo at NABPP05.
Thank you, comrade. I'll take it from here. So purpose and practice of the United Panther Movement 2014. Why we must build the UPM. Racism is not going away, nor is repression, nor the continued cycles of mounting crisis created by the capitalist imperialist system. These can only be ended by the proletarian socialist revolution. The masses are not going to be quick to recognize and take this path. They have to see its benefits. This goes back to what you was talking about yesterday. The people are not going to immediately recognize the benefits of what we're doing until they see us in these streets doing some tangible stuff, right? They have to see its benefits to be convinced that it is the only way forward first. While they have an inexhaustible enthusiasm for learning and liberation on the one hand, they also burn out and get demoralized and defeatist on the other. The struggle advances in waves with high tides and ebbs. One of the causes of burnout and demoralization by the masses and even those who have aspired to lead them in struggle is the idealist expression that things will move forward in a straight line. Terrorism and the fascist approach are expressions of impatience and beliefs that individualist acts will inspire mass insurrection. And let me just say, for a lot of the comrades, these terms are pretty new. But we're gonna go over these terms. They are spoken in the movement all around the world. So it's like going into an electrician class. When you first get in there, you're gonna see some words, be like, wow, what's going on here? I can't understand it. But as we study deeper and deeper, it's gonna become a second nature to you. Revolution is a lot more complicated than that. It is the overthrow of one class by another, not merely reshuffling the deck and replacing one oppressor from the enemy ruling class for another. To become the ruling class itself, the proletariat, which is you and I, the wage slaves, have to transform themselves and other poor and oppressed sectors, as well as defeat and suppress the bourgeoisie, the ruling class, and their armed protectors. The proletariat have to seize control of the means of production to end their exploitation, and they have to take and hold state power to carry out the transformation of all social relations and to prevent the restoration of the overthrown order. And so what they're saying here simply is that if we would come into power, African people, oppressed people, we have to keep in place an armed force, like a police, a military, prisons, in order to suppress the former oppressors, because they're going to constantly try to get back in power. They're going to make trouble. They're going to stir up shit. They're going to try to divide us. So we got to have instruments in place to suppress these cats. So that's what they mean by once you take over the government, and now it's up to you to establish institutions that will protect the new society. That's very important. Why do you think they couldn't stop Fidel Castro?
Yeah.
You know why? Because Fidel Castro had the people with him. 12 million Cubans. Despite all the propaganda you hear coming out of the Gusanos, those are worms and Miami. You see what I'm saying? Those are the ones that were in power, sweetie. And Fidel and the revolution kicked them out. Now they're in Miami. Now they're in Union City. Call themselves Little Havanas. But these was the rich ones. You know what I mean? But Fidel Castro was able to survive so long with the embargo because he educated and politicized the people about the struggle. He told them what the land was for, what the sugar was for, what the oil was for. He told them this would give you better housing, better education, better jobs, better schools. Before that, they had none of that shit. That's why Cuba had the best, right now, the best hospitals, the best doctors in the world. That's why they got free education. From kindergarten all up, you ain't got to pay for no college, no education. Housing is only $13 a month. But that's what socialism is, and we're going to get into that. And that's why the United States hate revolutionaries, because we're socialists. They are capitalists. That means that we're at war. If I can put it in street terms, it's similar to the Ku Klux Klan, which is the capitalists, the oppressors in power, and the Black Panther Party, which was in the streets, Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale, Erica Huggins, Fred Hamptons. They were fighting against those forces. And that's what we're going to be fighting against too, the same forces. Yeah, so let me just go ahead and carry on. So the proletariat had to seize power, the means of production, to end their exploitation. And they have to take and hold state power to carry out the transformation of all social relations and to prevent the restoration of the overthrown order. The struggle of the masses and revolution must advance wave upon wave until the state has been replaced altogether by the will of the people, and the absence of exploitation and the old social relations generated by it. Revolutionaries must persevere in putting forward this message and applying the mass line while building a revolutionary mass consciousness of the need for proletarian socialist revolution. So I'm going to stop this here, but this is basically an introduction to our ideology. So we don't have to stay too long there, but this is important that we get to UPM structure and strategy. This is going to tell all of us what we're about. So if you want to start, Conrad, you can start right here. UPM structure and strategy.
UPM structure and strategy. We should build the UPM in 3 parts: Black Panthers, Brown Panthers, and White Panthers. Black Panthers should be our main focus, and this has 3 parts: Black in the imperialist countries, Blacks and Africans, and Black in other third world countries. Brown Panthers, this includes all other people of color within the body groups, may also identify with the tiger symbol. Brown Panthers is considered what, like?
Brown, Latinos,
Latinos,
Southern
yeah.
Asians like in Pakistan,
Yeah.
Uzbekistan, all that stuff. Yeah.
White Panthers. This includes poor whites and working class white youth. Our primary focus should be on building the UPM broadly, and then within that network, developing that Vanguard Panther Party out of their most advanced core elements. Our basic slogan should be build a worldwide united front against, you said capitalist, imperialism, racism, and repression. Our basic strategy should be transform the razor wire plantation into schools of liberation and the oppressed communities into base areas of culture, social, and political revolution in the context of building a worldwide united front against capitalism, imperialism, and repression.
And let me say, go ahead,
That's
Conrad.
infinity in them out there? Yeah.
Why they so loud right there? What they doing?
Knock the door crack.
We do it for yeah, because that's what we gonna be hot for real.
They come in Infinity when we come in. They don't even be
All right, so let me just say, this is important that Comrade read. This is our basic strategy in a nutshell. Transform the razor wire plantations or prisons. That's the razor wire plantations. We have an intimate role in reversing and destroying these prisons because they are mass incarceration systems. They're systems meant intentionally to break up and destroy and diffuse the black family. And it has been used as that instrument since the close of the Civil War. Before all of us, mostly blacks, began to populate the prisons in the 70s, in the early 1900s, they had whites. These were the whites they called anarchists, or the whites that were socialists or communists or labor leaders that opposed their system. So the first prison they built was in Eastern Pennsylvania. And they threw these cats in there. They just threw them right in the room and said, give them a Bible, let them sit in there for 7 days, and instantly they'll be changed. That was the initial philosophy around rehabilitation in prisons. But we know prisons has a specific design.
Yeah, they don't want you to learn. They want you to go back in there and make the same mistake. That's why I told you I ordered all them books when I got home, because we got a big ass pamphlet. And it was like 2,500 books we couldn't get. I said, man, fuck that shit. I'm about to take this. I sent it home. I said, I won't read while we can't get these.
I can't get them books.
Yeah,
exactly.
that was my thing. I was going home in a couple weeks.
Exactly.
So I sent that shit home. I wrote down everything, sent that home, and ordered a bunch of books. I tried to order Law of the Land. What else I tried to order? Law of the Land, the Constitution. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to order that.
They prevented the Constitution from coming into prison?
They almost went to the hole.
Wow.
For the Constitution of the United States.
Nah.
You talk about, you see how barbaric the prisons got? You see how they got, brother?
That's crazy.
I had 1,000 books in my cell,
Nah,
right?
they came in. I was in a youth prison.
Wow.
They came in and raided my cell.
A youth prison. Go ahead, brother. Tell your
They came in
story.
and raided my cell, and
Wow.
they took out books, and they was like, "Yo, well, this is on the list now." It was the Rich Kuklinski book.
Yeah.
They came in and took that.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn. Then it was a bunch of books.
They took the new Jim Crow?
Nah, you can get that. You can't get like the Black Panthers. You can't get that.
Yeah,
shit.
they ain't
You
gonna
can't
let you get the
Shakur
Black
Shakur book.
Panthers. Yeah.
You can't get the Malcolm X book. Like anybody that's like preaching what we trying to do, you can't get on
want
that.
that. Yeah, they don't want
You gotta go to the hole for it.
Yeah.
You really go to the hole.
Exactly.
Like I never went to the hole, but it was a couple times. I'm just like, damn, I'm just trying to get a book. I ain't starting. It's like, nah, you gonna mess up the way the prison's supposed to be ran.
Think about that. Think about what he just said. That's what he
That was my
said.
first bid, so I'm not like first time ever going to jail. I never been in youth jail. I never been. This is my first time going to prison, so I'm like, what the fuck you mean? Run up a orderly fashion in prison, you know what I'm saying? Then that's when I just ordered a Black's dictionary. I just started looking at words I didn't understand. The thesaurus.
That's
Now they came in and took that too. Nah, for real. I
No, I
got my
believe
mans
you,
up
brother.
downstairs.
No, I
They
believe
came in,
you,
yo,
bro.
I'm telling you,
I believe
after
you, bro.
COVID hit, they just started like, what the fuck? Cause I started putting people on the books. I'm like, yo, order this. It was Speedy wearing hella reading. He be reading hella weird shit. Man, them niggas left probably like 300 books off our unit. Word, cause we just started ordering like, fuck is law of the land and shit. I said that's basically the law that they're going in the Midwest and down south. That's why I feel like we should go. But You know what I'm saying? I just come home and try to do something I could do.
Yeah.
Do something I can control. I ain't gonna get mad at them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I fell into their system, so I can't get mad how they run their structure.
they run it.
All I can do is try to get to some youth so they don't get into that structure. You know what I'm saying? So that's all.
Yeah, I want to make a connection though between, and as our headquarters is rehab, we're going to be showing videos and all that stuff. The connection between slavery, where it was a crime for you and I to learn to read and write.
Yeah.
It would literally cut your arms off.
Yeah.
And they
Even
continue.
in prison, the shit that they use.
Exactly. That's
Man,
the
send that
connection
man to the
for me.
hole. You ever seen the Django when his wife was in the hole? That's the hole. That's all you watch all these Supermax pretty, they walk on top of you because you're in a hole.
Oh wow.
That's some slavery. That's a slavery term.
That's right, brother.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not about to be. I'd rather try to change something before I be back wherever.
Yeah.
Even down to the food they feed us. That's all we were supposed to eat that as slaves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even the vegetables they give you in jail, it's not good for you. They don't give us the right vegetables we're supposed to eat in jail. They give us the vegetables that fuck up our stomach
Fuck your
line.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But with black people, they know it's like they from the earth, so it's like it takes a lot to fuck our shit up.
Yeah.
That's why they come out with new diseases,
Yeah.
we
That's
adapt
right,
to
brother.
everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We really adapt.
Really show
You don't
that.
see it though, you feel me? So
Right.
I'd rather make a change, that's all.
Yeah, thank you for that contribution, comrade. That was beautiful. So, transforming the prisons, we have to work on that because all of us are going to go to prison as long as we live in these oppressed communities. So, wherever we got brothers and sisters that are in prison, we need to reach out to them to give them this information, you know, that we can change shit ourselves. We ain't got to depend on the enemy power structure. The UPM should be built as primarily legal and above ground movement with the strong emphasis on serve the people survival programs and political education. It should be based everywhere there are concentrations of poor and oppressed people, and primarily in the urban centers and the oppressed communities around them. This doesn't rule out rural poverty pockets like Appalachia, but our main constituency is the urban poor. The UPM should be a big umbrella with diverse elements within it to include every faction within the oppressed community. Religious groups, lumpen street organizations, cultural groups, women's groups, students groups. People should primarily see the UPM in terms of its community service and its political analysis, which comes from the party at its core. In waging a protracted struggle, it must endure and avoid being suckered into premature showdowns with their peerless armed agents of repression. In this, it must emulate the turtle who wins the race by steady perseverance and never loses sight of the goal. The important thing is to keep growing and spreading to more communities, linking them together intercommunally, to sink deep roots among the masses and win their loyal support and identification with and as Panthers. So now we're going to talk about what the Panthers' specific function is. You want to read what is the Panther Movement, Comrade Fu?
Yeah, what is the United Panther Movement? The United Panther Movement is the continuation of the Rainbow Coalition started by Chairman Fred Hampton in the Chicago chapter of the Black Panther Party on April 4th, 1969. There have been many attempts of forming rainbow coalitions, especially in non-revolutionary reform, it says. But Chairman Fred Hampton's coalition was the first. Led by the BPP, the Rainbow Coalition included many groups organized around serving the people in specific communities. The Young Lords, Young Patriots Organization, White Panther Party, Students for a Democratic Society, Brown Berets, Brown Beret, the American Indian Movement, and Red Guard Party, and more. This was a way to organize many ethnic communities into a formalized and organized structure to build a power against the enemy, capitalist imperialism. The UPM intends on reviving this coalition with a new generation, but towards the same enemy. Although started by the new African Black Panther Party, the UPM will make its own decision and have a life of its own. The UPM is not an extension of the NABPP. It does not operate under its democratic centralism. No, it's
Just subordinate.
subordinate to NABPP's Central Committee. It is a mass democratic organization open to the people with different ideological, political orientations, united by their agreement with the Black Panther 10-point program and their desire to serve the people in the oppressed communities.
Thank you, comrade. I'll read it from here.
I'm coming. I gotta go to court at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So, listen, I need you to go out the door.
All right, thank you, comrade. All power to the
I'll be
people.
back. I'm taking with me. And
All right. All right, we'll see. I'll call you later, brother.
All right,
All right, all power to the people.
I got it. Yeah. I just gotta go to court. Just with my wife get this kid.
Okay, bro.
I'll be back.
All right, power. All power.
Power. Love you, bro.
So the UPM is a term used in two ways. First, it is the umbrella term to describe the entire Panther movement, the vanguard party. The UPM is a term used in two ways. First, it is the umbrella term to describe the entire Panther movement, the vanguard party and mass organizations. Second, it is the name of the main mass organization, which served as the backbone of our movement and all other mass organizations that either currently exist or will exist in the future. Being that we reside in the belly of the beast known as America, we have a specific role.
Partner, Shaka, you see a key? I think I'm back at the car. Because it got the
Oh, my bad, comrade. I apologize.
No. It's all right. I can't see. I'm blind when
It's okay. Second, it is the name of the main mass organization, which serves as the backbone of our movement and all other oppressed mass organizations that either currently exist or will exist in the future. Being that we reside in the belly of the beast known as America, we have a specific role to play in advancing the worldwide united front in the world proletarian socialist revolution. We must include the struggles of other people outside the belly of the beast, avoiding a U.S.-centric analysis. We must not only be international, we must be intercommunal. As its name implies, the UPM is first and foremost a movement which has an organized core element that is inspired by the legacy of the original Black Panther Party and its allied formations. An organization like the UPM is necessary because the capitalist imperialist system brings with it the toxic ideas and institutionalized structures of white supremacy, patriarchy, colonialism, neocolonialism, class division, and constant warfare against our comrades across the world and inside our own communities here at home. This is why we center our organizing with the proletarian class inside of poor and oppressed communities who have proven to be the most revolutionary. The proletariat, the hard-working, long-suffering wage slaves of capitalism, must be the leaders of the revolution. The proletariat is your brother, your sister that get up every day to go to work, to make sure our household is together. Mm-hmm. These are the working elements. Mm-hmm. You know, it's very important. It's very important that. Excuse me. It's very important that we understand when we use this word proletarian, we just simply talking about my mother, your father, the workers that make the system run. Capitalist societies are based on the division into classes, mainly bourgeoisie, that's the ruling class, the bourgeoisie. The petty bourgeoisie are the store owners, dentists, rappers like Puff Daddy, Jay-Z. Labor aristocracy, that's the labor leaders. The proletariat, and we talked about who the proletariat was, and lumpen proletariat, and this is important. Lumpen are those elements that are involved in street organizations like Bloods, Crips, like the Sisters Prostituting, like me, who exists off of, let's say, unemployment. You know, those are the lumping elements because you don't have a direct means in the state of the system. Like, you don't move the system forward because you're outside of the system. A lot of us exist in what they call the underground economy. So those are the lumping elements. The cats you see on the corner, you know, the cats that, you know, that don't want to get a job because they tired of working for a system that don't pay them any benefits.
Yeah.
The cats locked up in prison, those are lumpings. It's our job to transform the lumping mentality into a revolutionary mentality. You see what I'm saying? So the brothers and sisters in gangs and organizations on the street, we don't approach them like they enemies. We don't approach them in an antagonistic way. We approach them with the endeavor to uplift their ignorance and transform them in a way that they become more productive for their communities and each other. So lumping is a very important term. It only means broken. It's a German word that means broken. And as we grow with this movement and travel and stuff, you're going to see a lot of people use that term, you know, to describe bad behavior and stuff like that.
We just trying to fix it.
We trying to fix it. That's right, Cory. So capitalist societies are based on the division into classes. Who know what a class is?
As in, like
racial class,
low
financial class?
that kind of class.
Exactly. He got it. Upper class, lower class, middle class.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Racial class.
That's not like racial class, financial class.
Yeah, like financial.
No, but that's important because when we make our analysis of the system, we make our analysis based on concrete facts. So if you have an analysis of the class system, you'll be able to come up with answers on how to solve shit. Because you know the petty bourgeoisie or the middle class, their function and interest is different from the poor cat that don't have nothing. You see what I'm saying? One is about maintaining their status and symbol and whatever they got, whether it's a big car, big house, $100,000, whatever. The petty bourgeoisie wants to maintain that. Whereas the poor cat, if we don't reach him, he wants the same thing. But he'll probably pick up a gun and shoot somebody in the street to get it because he don't have the education. So it's our job to educate these poor cats. That's very important, the lumping. There you go, Conrad, all power to the people. That's right. The labor aristocracy are the bribed upper strata of the proletariat who see themselves as middle class and aspire to sit at the table with the capitalist bourgeoisie. The petty bourgeoisie are the little capitalists who also identify as the middle class. The lumping are the broken workers who have become unemployed or unemployables and live by hustling or hustles and outright criminal means, generally by preying on their own communities. With the proletariat leading the movement, we strive to incorporate the most plutocracy as possible. Let me just say that one more time. With the working class leading the movement, we strive to incorporate the most politically conscious elements of the lumpen proletariat, like this Conrad here, like this Conrad, like you. Y'all are the intellectuals of the lumpen proletariat because you see the need to transform and to transform the community. But there's thousands of other cats out here like that. And if we reach them with this new message, they'll be in the Panther Revolution. Or they'll start their own group that is geared towards positivity. See what I'm saying?
So just look at it. If you in a gang, you better be a Black Panther.
That's
That's just how I feel, bro. That's just how I feel. Like, how you gonna start your own group when they started a group because it is?
That's right.
If I won't do anything, I'm gonna go back to the group. I'm gonna go back to Grandpa. No, that's how I feel. I'm not gonna switch on the gang set on or try to start my own thing. Nah. If I could, like I said to you, if I could connect to 20 people being a Panther, then connect to 5 people being blood. Now connect. Let me be a Panther. We gonna come on.
That's right, brother. That's
you know what I'm saying? That's just me.
And a good way of reaching these cats. I know this is the only page I'm going to read, but the good way of reaching these cats is when we study Bunchy Carter. Bunchy Carter had the Slauson group. It was 5,000 of these cats. He went to jail. He met Eldridge Cleaver. First, they joined the Nation of Islam. Bunchy always had a conscience. When you learn about Bunchy Carter, he was a mean motherfucker in the streets. He controlled the Slauson gang that eventually grew up into other groups. But the point is, when he met Huey P. Newton, when he met Eldridge Cleaver, these cats changed his mind. These cats turned him away from criminal activity, and he became more of he became more active in changing the conditions of oppression in our community. He brought all 5,000 of those Slossers into the Black Panther Party. Guess what? 3,000 went into the underground. The underground is those cats that when the pig brutalize us, we ain't calling on the pig to investigate. We got 3,000 motherfuckers on the ground. They're gonna deal with that. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say revolution is different from the way these other organizations operate. We believe in self-defense. You smack us, we gonna smack you back. You see what I'm saying? That's very important, you know. And we're gonna reach these cats. But let me just finish up this page here. So by focusing on serving the people and building community-based people's power, we can transform our oppressed communities into base areas of cultural, social, and political revolution. There is no power greater than the people united. No power. That's important. I don't care whether it's you call it religious power or cultural. Nothing is greater than people power. You know why? Because a wall is made by the hands of people. And the wall can be torn down by the hands of people. How you think Assad Shakur got out of prison? It was revolutionaries that went up in there with Tulu Shakur and all these cats. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like that too. Like if we get to the young people to teach them law, you ain't gonna go to jail. You
exactly.
Spit to the cop what your protocol is supposed to be.
Exactly.
That's not your proper protocol, my dude.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
If you teach that can just stop the cuffs. Knowing let me arrest this guy because his mother ain't got enough to even.
Oh, he don't even know
what that public defender coming in
to defend himself right now.
Yeah, and that's how they operate.
It be like that.
Yeah, they operate big time like that.
They thought they had me. They tried to get me like that.
Oh yeah, what happened?
All that. I ran a cop over. On my bike, but the cop jumped out in front of me like this.
Yeah.
But then when it was like the
I don't mean to cut you off, and then cops do that shit to shoot at you though.
Yeah. That's
why would you jump in front of a moving car knowing you cannot physically stop it because you want to force yourself to use your weapon?
Because the car is a weapon, and they can pull out theirs and shoot.
You want to shoot that bad that you want to jump in front of a car. And now I'm bad because I'm already in motion.
Was it like the captain? The captain or whatever he came. He's like, oh, this son. So that's what it kind of like pulled off.
Oh, all power. Okay, all power to the people. All right, so we're going to finish this passage off. All human struggles require science. All human struggles require science. Not only do we use it, we demand it every day without question. Science is completely woven into the fabric of reality. Therefore, we use it in the realm of revolution. History is a process, and so too is revolution. We have hundreds, even thousands of years of revolution to study from, learn from, and apply to our conditions today. To change reality, we must struggle to understand what is reality. To change reality, we must struggle to understand why is reality real and what is illusion and false facades and misrepresentations. We won't always agree, but we must struggle to define reality in a truthful way to the best of our ability. Our organization is a legal above ground movement, and we must resist any attempts to lure us into acts that would entrap us or discredit our movement. We should strive to be the people's pride and win the respect of the communities where we are organizing. If this is something you agree with and can see yourself as being part of then Panther up and join us. So I'm gonna leave that page there, but I wanna go ahead, Conrad.
Dare to struggle, dare to win.
Oh,
like that right there.
That's right, brother. That's a part of our slogan. So when you see a brother, you can say dare to struggle, dare to win. That's a part of the movement. Yeah. I like that. All power to the people. So this is what we're gonna be telling people we're about. The 10-point program right here. Right there. Basis of unity, the 10-point program. I'm gonna read through this, but we're gonna come back to it in a deeper study. But when folks ask us what we about, the United Panther Movement, we say, well, we have a 10-point program. That's right, and I'm going to read this because this is very important. The 10-point platform, first conceptualized by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense in 1966. It was established as a means for reaching out to the people on their own terms. There's a 10-point program and platform for the NABPP, the Brown Panther Organization, and the White Panther Organization. The 10-point programs are used to develop a large basis of unity, raise the class consciousness of the masses, and provide a way for Panthers to engage with communities across the continent. The primary 10-point program with which the United Panther Movement should concern itself with is the New African Black Panther Party 10-point program, because this is the foundation of all other 10-point programs and inclusive to all oppressed people with an emphasis on the black oppressed communities. This program is as follows. 1. The 10-point program and platform of the New African Black Panther Party. 1. We want freedom and the power to determine the destiny of our black and oppressed communities. 2. We want full employment for our people. 3. We want an end to the robbery by the capitalists of our black and oppressed communities. 5. We want decent housing fit with the shelter of human beings. 6. No, excuse me, I apologize. That was 4. 5. We want decent education for our people that exposes the true nature of this decadent American society. An education that teaches us our true history and our role in the present day society. 6. We want completely free health care for all black and oppressed people. Number 7. That's right, brother. We want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people, other people of color, and all oppressed people inside the United States. So when we stand up before the media, or when we go to schools, when we talk to congregate, whoever we talk to, we say that, they say, well, what is your position, policy on the terrorism by the police in our communities?
We want it to stop.
We go, that's right, we want it to stop, but we also quote the 10-point program because it's concise and it's right to the point. You ain't got to guess, you ain't got to speculate. You say, point number 7 of the Black Panther Party state, we want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people, other people of color, and all oppressed people inside the United States. That leaves no room for speculation.
I watched the movie like that.
That's right. Oh, you watched it?
What's number 7?
Yeah.
What you sitting there crying for? It was like, and then you right off number 7.
Oh, power to the
feet. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. That's right. Number 8, we want an immediate end to all wars of aggression. Number 9, we want freedom for all black and oppressed people now held in U.S. federal, state, county, city, and military prisons and jails. Furthermore, we want trials by a jury of our peers for all persons charged with so-called crimes under the laws of this racist country. Catch that again.
Country,
that's right. We want freedom for all black. So catch that though. We want freedom for all black and oppressed people now held in U.S. federal, state, county, city, and military prisons and jails. Furthermore, we want trials by a jury of our peers for all persons charged with so-called crimes. And the reason why we say that is because the system, first of all, was founded on injustice. How are you going to get justice out of injustice? But tactically, revolutionaries should use the enemy constitution to advance our human rights. So when we go into the courtroom, we're going to hold the judge to the strictest of their own rules and regulations so we can advance our own security and safety. So we're telling the court system, first of all, when you found it, we was 3/5 human beings. We weren't considered human beings. You know, we was similar to a cow, a mule, a horse. So when we go into this system, we're telling them your rules do not represent black people or oppressed people because they was written to prop up a racist system. Like when they founded the police. The police was founded right after the 1857, the Fugitive Slave Act was passed. And guess what their job was? To hunt you and I down who ran away from the plantation. That's how the police developed. And today they kidnap us off the streets and throw us in their prisons. In California, they'll do this. They'll take a crip, right?
Now, you know, they found the Chicago Police Department I sent you. That they said the Chicago police was part of like 25 to 30% of the murders.
That's right. That's right.
Take them,
tell us that story. That's right. Tell us that. Tell us that.
They drop you off in the neighborhood you don't belong in.
That's right.
Chicago, they killing
you. Yeah, they not.
You feel me? So you ain't gonna give me nothing. I'm gonna drop you off there.
You
You know what I'm saying? They'll drop them off, then And then they a lot of rappers in Chicago, so
Yeah,
we'll see their case.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, well, look, if you GD and you BD, the fuck is you doing that deep in that
neighborhood.
neighborhood? You gotta understand.
Yeah,
I'm a
you get
gang
over
member,
here.
my nigga.
Yeah,
I can understand you getting killed at the borderline, a couple blocks,
Or get
you
killed
don't
in your
get killed
neighborhood because of them.
4-10 blocks into that hood, my nigga, without being
you
seen.
deep in they
You
hood.
was in a cop car, bro.
Somebody put you in driving the
Yeah.
car.
Yeah,
And that's important too. Stanley Tookie Williams talked about that in his book Rage and Redemption. But also, there's a guy out there, Gary Webb. In 1989, he wrote a piece in Sacramento exposing the CIA putting drugs in the community. How they gave all this drugs to
They
Ricky
dropped
Ross.
freight trucks off
Freight
in
trucks and
Chicago,
drugs.
full of
Chicago
guns
too.
and
That's
drugs.
right.
used
Yeah.
to produce
Yeah,
the
they
most
still
drugs.
doing that.
They still
Smith
doing
and
that.
Wesson and Glock got up out of there. The fuck you keeping all them bullets and them guns in there for? That's your product, my nigga.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
If that's your money, why are you leaving it in a black neighborhood?
Yeah.
All power to the people. That's right.
Like what they
That's
said
You know
about
what
them
I'm saying?
frames they
Like-
was dropping off right in the middle of the neighborhood. Now
I'm talking about
train
OGs
full of guns.
from the 90s saying this shit.
Yeah.
So when we hear Lil Durk and them saying, like, man, I ain't doing that
Yeah,
shit. And
they
you go
say
see
a
some videos that
train.
was up
They
10
said
years
their
ago.
neighborhood it'd be like
And you got somebody
trains.
from 10 years ago that was
They be
talking
coming
about
through,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
so-called
yeah.
just break down in the neighborhood. Now it's no driver. Now it's nothing.
Wow.
Door
What
wide open.
guns
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything
yeah.
in y'all neighborhood.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't gonna do nothing else but come out here and sell drugs,
Like, this is
use
my
the guns
thing.
on people.
Like,
all
this is
that.
my thing, right?
Right.
What the freak is you doing with a bazooka?
Yeah.
You can only get that from the government, my
They
nigga.
just,
Come on, brother.
they
All
just had a
power to the
bazooka and
Yeah,
locked the
yeah.
little boy up for posting himself with a bazooka.
Yeah.
But he killed somebody. Y'all trying to figure out where he got this
How many,
bazooka
bro,
from.
how many,
But
how
y'all
many
know where he
people
got
you
this
see in
bazooka
Chicago with a
from.
bazooka? My point exactly. That's a fucking
And you know
shame.
what? Chicago, Conrad make a good point. Chicago have always been the hotbed of counterinsurgency. That's where they shot Fred Hampton at. You know, where he was bringing together Jeff Fort and the Black Peace Stone Nation and the Gangster Disciples and all these other groups.
Yeah.
Chicago always had a police force that was more military than local servants of the people. Because a lot of those racists, man, like he said, when they drop you up, that's military shit.
And the way they did Fred Hampton, from what I heard, is like saying like they set him up. Because the
That's
dude
right.
that was in the front was supposed to be an informant or whatever. And you the one with the drugs, you probably gave Fred Hampton something that'll have him not being able to get up.
That's what they
why he
gave.
couldn't
That's what
defend
they gave.
himself.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Y'all come in here, y'all shooting. Who defending themselves? You drugged up in the bed.
Oh, power to the people. That Conrad did his research.
Come on, bro.
That
Like,
brother
it's
know what he
crazy.
talking. That's right.
And
That's
this
how
girl
they
here to
operate.
live. Like, well, whoever was here to live the situation, that's saying
Yeah.
it. Come on, bro. You got people that know what's going on.
And Fred Hampton Jr. that's alive today in Chicago with the Black Panther Party Cubs.
Yeah.
He was in his mother's Akua's stomach.
Yeah, the
and
stomach
she
got
got
the
shot.
Yeah, she did.
Yes,
get
brother.
shot. She got shot too.
She got
yeah.
shot.
But
Because she was
lived,
right
though.
next. Fred was right here. Fred was on barbiturates that put you to sleep.
Yeah.
And she was right next to him. So they came in, they was shooting. And she couldn't get Fred up. They shot her right in the stomach.
Yeah, she killed
But
her.
it ain't hit the baby though. Little Fred Hampton Jr. is alive today, but these some murdering motherfuckers, man.
Man,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like you botched the whole mission.
that's right. So number 10. This is a summarization of the 10-point program. We want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, peace, and people's control of modern technology. Now, this 10-point program got to be memorized by all of us.
Yeah, I know.
That's a requirement. I mean, that goes all the way back to Huey P. Newton and them. You know, in order to join the party, you got to memorize it because let's say you over in Hawthorne. And you get into a conversation. Yeah, you get into a conversation about the Panthers. You should be able to run down the 10-point program. That's the only thing we require you to memorize.
Yeah, that's what
The
I'm saying.
10-point program because it plays such an intricate role in our organizing in the community.
I feel like you'll remember it if you really want it.
All power to the people.
That's
That's
it.
right.
Yeah,
Conrad.
you really want
That's
it,
like
it
my
wouldn't
school.
be no
We
problem.
had something that you had to remember a philosophy. If you don't remember the philosophy, you can't get in school.
All power
I
to
went
the
through all of that stuff, got into it, they tried to kick me out. I'm like, man, I'm going to learn this philosophy, bro. I'm
That's
too
right.
old to not have my
Yeah, yeah.
diploma. Like,
That's
that's
right.
what's out.
That's right.
Ended up getting it. I was in
power
a
to
leadership program in there. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a breeze.
It was easy, right? That's right. Knowledge is powerful, brother. All right, so this is the, we only got, the 6 rules, but they powerful rules. Full support for the Black Panther Party 10-point program. The basis of unity of the United Panther Movement is to continue the legacy of the original Black Panther Party and its affiliated organizations as outlined in the BPP. 10-point program. Upholding its spirit and applying its principles creatively to the struggles of today. Members should study and commit this to memory and be able to explain it to others. 2. The UPM is a democratic organization based upon majority rule and voluntary participation. The UPM is a mass organization with a life of its own, and every participating member has an equal voice and a vote in decision making. It is not an arm of the New African Black Panther Party or under its democratic centralism. Party members will vote as individuals and will follow the 1/3 rule of not having party members constituting more than 1/3 of the members of any decision-making body of the UPM to safeguard the independent life of the UPM as a democratic organization. What we mean is that if I say to the UPM that I think that we should go out Wednesday to serve food to the people, majority of the members are going to listen to me because I'm the national leader of the Panther Revolution. But that could be bad too, because the United Panther Movement could get together and vote and say, we want to go into Bradley courts today and pass out literature. So that's why we say the UPM have a life of its own, because you make your own decisions on a national secretariat. It's a 3-person body. And they make decisions for the Brown Panthers, the White Panthers, and the Black Panthers collectively. So simply me saying we should do this should not be a policy and a plan. But that happens. We influence you. Leaders always influence the rank and file. But that could be bad. So we got checks and balances in place where everybody's voice matters. Yeah. That's why we vote in the
Everybody
UPM.
has an opinion that matters.
Well, everybody has an opinion, but their vote matters. Yeah, the opinion, everybody has an opinion, but the vote matters. That's right. So that's important. All right, so number 3, the UPM is anti-racist, anti-sexist, and no one will be discriminated against on the basis of their race, ethnicity, gender, or sexual orientation. Particular emphasis will be placed on encouraging the full participation of women at every level of the organization, as well as other oppressed groups within society. Some affiliated groups and sections of the UPM may have a restricted membership, such as an all-black or all-Latino or a women's organization. This is quite all right, so long as they uphold the principles of revolutionary intercommunal solidarity in their practice. 4, the UPM upholds the principle of religious freedom. We are a secular movement, but religious-based groups may affiliate or become sections within the UPM. These groups may not, however, impinge on the rights of other groups or individuals to exercise their religious freedom. We shall all take up the cause of any group or individual being oppressed because of their religious beliefs or anti-religious beliefs. That's important. You know how we do. Us black folk, when we get religious, I'm a Christian, my God is better than yours, I'm a Muslim, Allah, and we fight like cats and dogs. At the end of the day, we can't get no unity. So that's why we said within the organization, it's not about God. God is very important to you. But like Malcolm X said, that should be your personal religion. When we come out into the public, we have a common enemy. So we should have a common struggle, a common cause, a common platform. And that's what the 10-point program is. It's a common platform. So, number 5, the UPM is being built as a legal above-ground organization. All members will respect this and refrain from illegal activity that might expose the organization to risk of being labeled as a criminal group. And number 6, the UPM exists to serve the people. Members will participate in programs to directly serve the people in their communities. We must walk our talk, teach and lead by example. So the other stuff we're going to talk about in other classes, membership, and the other articles and stuff like that.
The newer
articles. What social investigation means.
We still got time to read over it on our own.
That's right. This is yours. You're taking this with you.
Yeah.
All power to the people. We're about to close this in a second. Anyway, thank you for that, comrade. So, also, I'm going to be handing out tomorrow the membership papers. So that way all the comrades can get the membership papers and sign them. But take your time, read through this manual. This is your base. This is your place. My name may be on it, but it don't belong to me. It belongs to the Panthers. So this is your home. Whenever you want to come here, when we get up and running, we welcome that. We're gonna have rules around all this stuff, you know. But in the future, we're gonna build the base area of strength here. Go ahead, brother.
More paperwork in the house about like how to get diplomatic immunity and stuff.
That's right.
Do a passport.
Okay.
So I got that. I'm gonna make some copies of it before I give it to everybody.
All power to
I just
people.
feel that stuff. That's what Trump and them get. They're like, oh, why they can't get prosecuted? Because they have diplomatic immunity. It doesn't go for them.
Yeah.
But you can follow. We in the country, so we can get it. They just don't tell us this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
But my
right.
brother-
So that's a study we should take
Nah, my
on.
brother Mason and Asil was like, you Shane, brother, right? I'm like, yeah. He just slips like, read and send it home. I ain't know what the fuck it was.
I ain't even
You
gonna
know
lie,
what
they
I'm
don't
saying?
even give us. They don't even tell us what a real ID is.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, a state ID is not even an ID. Everybody
No
force you to go
ID,
get a state
yeah,
ID.
yeah.
This joint say not an actual ID.
Yeah, they just need.
They don't never tell us,
To
oh, we
document
need to go get our
It says for
passports.
identification use only, but
that
you
was
can't
my
go get
thing.
passport
If
without
I get
going
that
for
passport,
now.
I just show
It's not a real ID. Your passport is your
You
real
don't
ID.
need an ID.
Yeah, so I
You need
can't
a state
get a passport.
passport. You
They
know
don't
what I'm
really
saying?
want us. They want us to keep us locked in this country. They ain't gonna be big on telling
We
you.
just all we is a number.
Yeah, that's why they want to
That's
dock inside the motherfucking DMV.
But also about the real ID, you know, that's the real ID come out next year.
Oh,
That
yeah?
will have your passport on it. It will have your driver's license on it. It will
Yeah.
have all of your social security. It's a little ID. They postponed it. It's supposed to came out this year, but because of COVID and stuff like that, they postponed it to 2022. But they're going to give you the 2024 to get the ID. So it's a uniform ID that the whole country will have.
Right.
So that's what I thought you was talking about.
Yeah,
But it's this called the real ID. If you look it up on your phones, everything will be on that one ID.
I'm like, because the passport, the only one they won't say, oh yeah, you can't use this here, you can't use it. You can use the passport anywhere. You go
Yeah, you
anywhere.
use your
You
passport.
get the
Yeah,
card,
I ain't know
or
that.
you
That's
get
smart.
both. You get both expedited, but I got that paperwork in the house.
That's right. Now bring that out, Conrad, because that's what we need to teach the people.
And that's how I was saying.
Yeah.
I show this shit to the home. Nobody want to read that weird shit.
All right, that's what I say. All right.
All power to
Any,
You know what I'm
any
saying? It's
argument
like,
we gotta
damn,
have,
bro,
or
like-
anything that's trying to better you and you don't, you want
They
to
wanna
do it.
keep
Oh, I
you
got
at the
to
same
bust a
level.
couple moves. I got to do that. I got to. All right.
That's all. All right, we keep it moving. But when we grow,
I already told
People
people
are gonna
they
compete
better not
with-
say, don't say nothing to me.
Yeah.
Not like I don't like you, but don't try to join it now because we was talking to you about it before. It's like, oh no, they got this bad reputation. Bitch, you blood.
Don't let us build up a good reputation. Then you want to join.
Yeah, you big homie.
Then you gonna
around.
look like a follower.
And
Why
you
you can't be
holding
the
this
person?
man down. Like,
Uh-huh.
they got something to say, I'm gonna die with him. Well, you go over there and die by yourself. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to listen. So I'm just like, man, it's washed up.
that's right, baby. And let me say, there's a saying in the movement, right, that we have to cut the shoes to fit the feet, meaning that we have to set people where they are in life and endeavor to uplift them. So like the comrade said, fear is a big factor in revolution. It holds shit back, you know, because you got your own police sitting in your head. So you're not going to get up and do anything because you're so psychologically defeated already. That's what Malcolm talked about. Malcolm said that the difference between the house nigga and the field nigga is that the field nigga's not defeated. He may not have the intellectual sophistication to define his problem, but he'll throw a rock at the motherfucking slave master. That's those cats that when the police roll up and they knock a young brother down, some of those cats, some of their brothers and sisters jump in. Those are the field niggas. That's what we are, field niggas. But we have to define the template of the struggle so they can be more sophisticated in their attacks against the system. But you always going to get people in the beginning to say, you know, the Black Panther Party got a bad reputation, bad name. You're going to get that because, remember,
Your daddy left you. He got a bad name.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Your daddy left you?
Your daddy left you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You still
That was a
carrying on
good
his
point.
last
Listen to what he
name?
just said. You heard what he said?
Yeah, I know.
You
That
still
was a
carrying
good
on his
point.
last name?
That's right. That's
You ain't
right.
go down to court and change that. Make something make sense. Just say
Nobody don't even
if it's gonna
think
be
about
no, just say
nothing.
no.
They go to
Don't
jail.
give.
They go to jail. You go to jail. You just did 13 years of your life. You see a cop. You just
Oh, power
this
to
person
the
just
people.
took your whole life away. Messed your family up. All this. You don't even know.
But
y'all
you don't
let
have a
him
problem
defend
with
your
him.
family instead of you go out and be the one that's going. That's
Right.
right, man.
That's why
And y'all come out here and still sell drugs or still
But
do
every
this, still
time
do
you
that.
wanna
And
change
that's up
your
the neighborhood
steps.
even more.
All
Don't make
power
no
to the
sense.
people. So let's just close this out, but we can continue the conversation. So whenever we finish our meetings, we always say all power to
All
the people.
power to the people.
All power to the people.
All
Good
power
class,
to the people.
comrade.
All power, brother. You got any more